Hi, this is Dr. Dave, and I want to show you how to use the new VDI, the replacement for Citrix, for running Proccess via SPSS, and we might even play around with it a little bit more than that. But here's how to do this in a functional way. First of all, get your files together that you're going to want to use remotely or on the virtual desktop, because that's what the Myapps is going to lead you to, is a virtual desktop. Get them located together in a file. So most importantly, you need to have this little blue Proccess file that basically is process.spd, the blue one. And then you'll need a data set too. So I have another SPSS data set here. Okay, so you have those. What you do is you go to Chrome. You find your way to UTSA. You go to My UTSA, and it brings up options, and the one you want is My UTSA Apps. Click on My UTSA Apps. Now you have to sign in using your ABC123. It's going to use Duo security thing. And there I approved the push. And now you're here. Now don't rush past here, because there's a lot of mistakes you can make trying to rush past here. And you'll just get into holes that go nowhere and non-responsives. What you want to do, especially the first time, is go to VDI settings. There's two options here. The VM Horizon software, which I understand that there's advantages to using, but I don't know how to do that. And when one student did that, they couldn't follow what I was doing. So for everyone to follow, we're going to use the HTML version. So make sure you click the HTML version and hit OK. So it's VDI settings, HTML version. Once you have that done, if you want SAS, you can go ahead and click on SAS, but we're going to go to SPSS, or we're going to go to Student General. It's going to take just a minute. It's a pretty long moment. I wonder if I should end up editing this out. I don't know. Probably not. Here we go. Okay. Once you have this open, you now have a virtual desktop open. And down over here, you can get access to programs like SPSS. But before we do that, it's very important to notice this little button over here. Now, there's some things in the way, so I'm going to move those. This little tab right here is extremely important. You can click it, it comes open, click it, it goes down. Click it, open. And open is where we want to start, because we need to access our data. And what's an easy way to access the data? See up here where it says Horizon? And there's a little tab here, and a little tab here. And this says Open File Transfer Panel. So I open that, and it says to download, blah, blah, blah. What I'm going to go ahead and do is to pull this over here, and then here were my files. Here's my data set. Data set. There we go. And got it pulled in. And then there's the Proccess file. There we go. Pulled it in. Okay. Loaded onto your virtual desktop. Where is it in your virtual desktop? Well, the default is in your Documents folder. So we're going to close this. We're going to go, we don't need this anymore. Go over here to File Explorer. Go to Documents, and there's your two files. I'm just going to go ahead and click on my data file directly and let SPSS open that up. Of course, SPSS takes a long time to open up. And there we have data. Now I want to load in Proccess so that Proccess can run. Notice that if I go to Analyze, Regression, Proccess isn't there. So I'm going to go to Extensions, Utilities, Install Custom Dialog. It's Extensions, Utilities, Install Custom Dialog. Notice that it automatically references the Documents file. I pulled over that Proccess.spd file there. Go ahead and open. It says it's installed. And now when I go to Analyze, Regression, boom, Proccess is there. So I can run a model where I say I have neuroticism leading to extroversion, leading to life satisfaction, model for with standardized coefficients and the total effects, and boom. Yeah. I did the wrong model number. I did the wrong model number, didn't I? I didn't change it to model 4. The model 4. Boom. And I get my output. So then I go File, Save As, my homework over in the Documents file. I guess that's a good place for it. I don't know. Okay, well, hold the phone. It just occurred to me that it's not going to do you a lot of good to download this output file because it requires SPSS to read that output file. You can't read it with a notepad. So if you don't have SPSS on your machine, why are you downloading it on there except to save it for when you're back on the machine? So I think what you're going to want to do is when you run output, you're going to want to grab it. Just get inside the box there. There you go. Got to click on it a couple of times. Get inside the box and hold down Shift and Error. Grab all the output, say copy. You'll notice this little thing comes up here. It says confirm that you want to copy to your local clipboard, not just to the virtual clipboard. And then you'll need to pull up something, maybe Word, maybe a sticky pad, a notepad. I've started playing with OneNote as a place to save things like this. Then you go into OneNote and then you go paste. I don't think that's a good sign. love spending time stuck. Fucker. Try that again, Control V, there we go. And now it's saved my output. If you want it a little bit neater, you can do it by this way, but you have to do it, piecemeal, because it's only as much as you can put on your screen. But you can go over and get your snipping tool, say, get a new snip, grab a picture, edit, copy, over here, Control V, yep, and there's the picture, and now it's all lined up. Nice and neat, and collect your information. And that is directly on my desktop. Now, if you still want to save this, you can still go save as, my homework, replace that. Oops, close too much. Let me over here hit this button so I can see my virtual desktop. And then open up my tab. Go to that second one next to the horizon for transfer. Now we're on download. It says Control C. First select a file. Go to File Explorer, go to Document, find my homework, highlight that, then do Control C, then it brings it up here in the transfer files. Go over to this down arrow, hit the down arrow, go over here where it shows up, show in a folder, copy, and then move it onto your own desktop. There you go. And that's manipulating Proccess. While we're here, I don't want that. While we're here, let's just make one more round with AMOS. So how would you use AMOS on here? Go over here to your Windows icon. Click. Go on down to IBM SPSS AMOS. And here we have AMOS Graphics. Click on AMOS Graphics. And it comes up. And first thing you're going to want to do is find your data. So you hit this little icon here. It looks like a data matrix, sort of. hit File Name, go to Documents. There's my data set in Documents. Highlight that, open it, and hit OK. Now, if we want to construct a little mediational model, just as an example, I can tell now that my data is in there. Let's go with extroversion leads to life satisfaction, leads to how often you get drunk. Okay, I use these. If you start over here with dragging those variables, it automatically puts those in boxes as manifest variables. Use the arrowheads and we'll construct the famous David and Kinney mediational model layout where we have C prime, A, B, and what's left over out of C, which is C prime. Now, SPSS wants to recognize that your outcome variables are predicted with error. So we put in these little boxes and we add an error component to them. Those need to be named. You go to Plugins, Name Unobserved Variables, and it names it Error 1 and Error 2. And then we go over here to Analyze Properties. I believe there's missing data in here, and in order to analyze with missing data, you have to estimate with means and intercepts. The bad thing about that, I believe, is that if you estimate with means and intercepts, it will not give you significance test for indirect effects. That's pretty bad. But we'll live with that for now. I'm just trying to show you how to get into this, not deal with all the little problems. Output, indirect, direct, and total effects, standardized estimates is all I'm going to go for here. Close that. So that's from Analyze Properties. Once you do that, we're going to calculate our estimates. It's going, the first time I ran this, it said it was going to, gave me an error message. I was kind of hoping that it would give me an error message again so I could show you how to get around that. But what you have to do is you have to save this file, save as, go over to your desktop. On the desktop, I've already named a file here. I'm just going to go ahead and use the same. Now I can name it another one, trial 2. Once I've named the file, I can now run it using this button, Calculate Estimates. Hit Calculate Estimates. I now see that over here, my output is there. Here's my input. Here's my output. Input, output. The output starts off in unstandardized form, but I can change it to standardized. So standardized, unstandardized. So there's my figure. If I want to grab that, there's a number of ways of doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and go snipping tool. There's my figure, edit, copy, go over to my notepad, and put it in. If I want the full output. Right over here, the little button says View Text. Gives you output such as model fit, estimates. Those are the two main things you're going to want. And I'm afraid what you're going to need to do for that is to go ahead and highlight, copy, say yes, I want to copy to my own clipboard, go over here, down, V, let's try again. It messed up here. In this box, grab all of my estimates. There, Control All, Control A for all, Control C, copy to my local clipboard, and Notepad, and Control V, and it worked. And you can do that the same thing with your model indices, model fit indices. Again, if you want to save your work after you finished with AMOS, here's my input file for AMOS. Oh, no, that's not it. Here it is, trial 2, right there. That's what it looks like. I think that's the output file. That output file might be readable. So you might be able to just save that output file. I forget. I think that might be readable without the program. But if you want to save for prosperity this, again, what you're going to remember to do is to go over to this little tab over here. File transfer. Nope, you don't drag that. For download, download files, highlight, download, no, nope, File Explorer, desktop, trial 2, Control C, there we go. So you have to go to the File Explorer, locate it as a file, highlight it, then hit Control C, then it comes over, then you click down here, then go over here, show in folder, and there it is, trial 2. Copy, move it over to my desktop, paste, and there we go, and I'm done. And that took much longer than what I was hoping for, but it is doable. It is doable. Hope you got something out of it, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.